Have you ever stopped to wonder why being nice feels more like a burden than a blessing? Why, despite always trying to please everyone, you still feel invisible, unheard, or even used? That quiet voice inside you, telling you to speak up, to push back, to claim your space, gets drowned out by the desperate need to keep the peace. It's a struggle you don't often talk about, because who wants to admit that being kind and accommodating might actually be holding them back? The truth is, nice isn't what you think it is. It's not the pure kindness you imagine or the genuine goodness you hope to show. It can be a mask, a trap, a well-meaning prison that keeps you small. You've been conditioned to believe that being nice means putting others before yourself, avoiding conflict, and swallowing your own needs. But this so-called virtue can silently steal your power, your confidence, and your dreams. Think about it. How many times have you agreed to something you didn't want to do just to avoid disappointing someone? How often have you kept quiet about what really mattered to you because you feared rocking the boat? You might even feel exhausted, drained, or trapped, yet somehow still guilty for feeling that way. That's the heavy price of being nice. It's an invisible weight, a silent sacrifice you make every day, hoping it will be enough. But what if it's not? What if this endless pursuit of approval and harmony is the very thing stopping you from living the life you deserve? Imagine waking up one day free from the need to please everyone, free to say no without guilt, free to stand tall in your own truth. It's not just a fantasy. It's possible. And it starts with understanding that being nice isn't a badge of honor. It's often a barrier. There's a deep psychological reason why being nice can feel so dangerous. When you constantly suppress your feelings, avoid confrontation, and seek validation from others, you're essentially training your brain to prioritize their comfort over your well-being. Your mind becomes wired to expect rejection or disapproval the moment you put yourself first. This creates a cycle where you give away your power and lose sight of who you truly are. It's exhausting because you're living a life based on what others want, not what you need. But here's the most important part. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking it. Once you see that being a nice sign isn't the same as being good, you open the door to something far greater, authenticity. Real strength isn't about pleasing everyone. It's about honoring yourself, even if it means disappointing others. That might sound harsh, but it's the truth that changes everything. There is a powerful freedom that comes from this realization. When you stop being a nice just to keep people happy, you start to reclaim your identity. You begin to understand that saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who respects their own limits. You realize that your voice matters and that the world needs the real you, not a watered-down version designed to avoid conflict. Holding on to the nice and nice label might feel safe, but safety comes at a cost. The cost of lost opportunities, compromised dreams, and a quiet loneliness that grows inside. It's a loneliness born from hiding your true self, from shrinking to fit into roles that don't serve you. But the moment you decide to stop being nice in this way, you start to fill that loneliness with strength, clarity, and purpose. This journey won't be easy. It will require courage to face discomfort and resistance from those who are used to the nice you. But every step forward brings a reward far greater than temporary approval. It brings self-respect, genuine connection, and a life built on your own terms. It's a life where you don't have to apologize for being yourself, where your happiness is not an afterthought, but a priority. So if you're tired of feeling invisible, overlooked, or drained from always trying to please others, listen closely. This is your invitation to stop settling, to stop sacrificing your dreams for the sake of a smile, to stop being the nice person who loses themselves in the process. Because on the other side of that choice lies a life where you are powerful, authentic, and deeply free. And that life, it's waiting for you to claim it. When you've spent so long being nice, it's easy to mistake kindness for weakness. But the harsh reality is that excessive niceness can become a silent form of weakness, one that chips away at your confidence and steals your voice without you even noticing. You might think that by always agreeing, always accommodating, you're building bridges and earning goodwill. Yet what often happens is the exact opposite. People start to see you as an easy target, someone they can push around or dismiss without consequence. This happens because your boundaries, those invisible lines that protect your energy and self-worth, slowly fade away. When you constantly put others' needs before your own, you send a message, not with words, but through your actions, that your feelings don't matter as much. Your brain picks up on this too. It starts to believe that your value depends on your ability to be available, agreeable, and agreeable at all costs. This creates a dangerous loop where you give more and more, while your inner voice gets quieter and quieter. Science shows us this pattern is common in people pleasers. Studies reveal that those who prioritize others over themselves often struggle with anxiety, stress, and even depression. The psychological toll is real because you are living in a state of constant internal conflict. Your heart wants to be true to yourself, but your mind fears rejection and loneliness. This battle wears you down. It leaves you feeling exhausted, confused, and desperate for approval that never quite feels satisfying. But why do we fall into this trap so easily? The answer lies deep in our human nature. We are wired to seek connection, to belong, to be accepted. From childhood, many of us learned that being nice was the key to love and safety. We equated kindness with acceptance, and so we trained ourselves to mute our true feelings in favor of keeping peace. The problem is, when this behavior becomes a habit, it becomes a cage. You begin to live a life where your happiness depends on others' approval, a fragile foundation that shifts with every changing mood and expectation around you. And here's the harsh truth. No one else can give you the fulfillment you seek if you keep sacrificing yourself. You may be nice, but you're not free. You're caught in a loop of self-denial disguised as kindness. Yet the power to break this cycle is already inside you. It starts with understanding that niceness without boundaries is not true kindness. It's self-neglect. True kindness begins with kindness toward yourself. When you give yourself permission to prioritize your needs, your wants, and your voice, you start to reset that balance. You teach your brain a new way of being, a way that honors your worth without fear. Imagine what that feels like, the courage to say no without guilt, to express your true feelings without fear of judgment, to stand your ground and demand respect. This isn't arrogance or selfishness, it's the foundational strength that creates genuine relationships. Because when you respect yourself, others learn to respect you too. And that respect brings a new kind of connection, one rooted in honesty and mutual understanding, not in quiet submission. The shift from being nice to being strong is more than just changing how you behave. It's about reclaiming your identity. You stop living for others' expectations and start living for your own truth. This transformation rewires your mind, changes your emotional landscape, and frees your spirit. You begin to walk through life with a sense of purpose and power that attracts respect, admiration, and opportunities you never thought possible. But this change won't come from doing more or trying harder to please. It comes from doing less bending, less shrinking, less apologizing. It comes from saying no to the roles and patterns that keep you small. Every time you push back against that old habit, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was lost. Yes, this road is challenging. Fear will whisper that you're selfish, that you're making enemies, that you're alone. But listen closely, these fears are not facts. They are echoes of the past trying to keep you locked in old patterns. Real strength means feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. It means knowing that your self-worth does not depend on how many people approve of you, but on how fiercely you protect your own soul. When you stop being the nice person who silently sacrifices, you step into a new kind of freedom. You no longer live under the weight of others' expectations. You become the architect of your own life, setting boundaries that serve your growth, speaking truths that align with your values, and making choices that honor your deepest self. This is where transformation happens. The moment you realize that being nice isn't a virtue if it costs you your happiness is the moment you reclaim your power. You become unstoppable, not because you're perfect or everyone loves you, but because you're real, authentic, unapologetically you. And that authenticity, it's magnetic. It draws the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy into your life. It's a force that changes everything because it starts with the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself. So don't settle for being nice at the expense of your own life. You deserve more than that. You deserve respect, fulfillment, and freedom. The power to change your story lies within you, waiting to be unleashed. The only question is, will you finally choose yourself? Will you finally stop being the nice person and start being the powerful, authentic force you were always meant to be? The moment you begin to see the true cost of being nice is also the moment you start to understand the power of setting boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls built to shut people out. They are the lines you draw to protect your energy, your time, and your soul. They are the invisible shields that say, this far and no further. And while it might sound simple, Setting boundaries is one of the most revolutionary acts of self-love and courage you can commit to. For too long, you may have been trained to believe that boundaries are selfish or unkind. You've been told to bend, to accommodate, to smile and swallow your discomfort for the sake of harmony. But here's the truth: without boundaries, harmony is an illusion. Without boundaries, you lose yourself in the endless demands of others. Your needs vanish beneath their expectations, and your voice becomes nothing more than a whisper in the chaos. Psychology tells us that boundaries are essential for mental health and well-being. They create a safe space where you can be your authentic self without fear of being exploited or dismissed. Setting boundaries actually rewires your brain to recognize your own value. It strengthens your self-esteem, reduces anxiety, and even improves your relationships. When you make it clear what you will and will not accept, others naturally adjust. They begin to respect you more because you respect yourself. Yet this power is frightening to many. Saying no feels like a risk. You fear rejection, conflict, or losing people who rely on your nice nature. But ask yourself, what kind of life are you building if every interaction drains you? What kind of future awaits if you never claim your right to say no? The reality is this: without boundaries, you give others permission to take what they want, while you stay stuck in a cycle of exhaustion and resentment. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing people away. It's about creating space for real, honest connections. Connections where you don't have to hide, pretend, or sacrifice your needs. When you protect your boundaries, you're telling the world that you matter. And when you matter to yourself, others will start to treat you differently. They will see you as someone who is strong, reliable, and worthy of respect, not someone to take for granted. Imagine the relief of no longer feeling obligated to say yes to everything. Imagine the freedom of choosing how you spend your time, your energy, and your love. That freedom is the foundation for your true happiness. Because when you honor your boundaries, you reclaim control over your life. You stop living on other people's terms and start living by your own rules. The courage to set boundaries also means facing discomfort. It means dealing with the guilt, the fear, and sometimes the anger that arise when you stop being the nice person everyone expects. But these feelings are not signs of failure, they are signs of growth. Every time you feel uneasy, it means you're stretching beyond old patterns, stepping into your power, and rewriting your story. This process transforms you from the inside out. You begin to recognize that your value is not tied to your ability to please. You learn that saying no is a form of yes. Yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, yes to the life you deserve. And with every boundary you set, your confidence grows. Your voice gets stronger. Your presence becomes undeniable. The world respects strength, not the harsh, aggressive kind, but the quiet, unshakable strength of someone who knows who they are and refuses to be diminished. When you embody this strength, you stop attracting those who would drain you and start attracting people who uplift, inspire, and support you. This shift changes everything. It changes how you see yourself. It changes how others see you. And it changes the energy you bring into every room, every conversation, every relationship. You become magnetic, not because you're trying harder, but because you are simply being real. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about perfection. You will stumble, you will question yourself. But each step forward is a victory. Each moment you choose yourself over the old habit of endless niceness is a reclaiming of your power. And this power is contagious. It inspires others to do the same, to honor their own needs, to speak their truths, and to live authentically. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the right words. The best time to start setting boundaries is now, right here, right now. Because every boundary you draw is a declaration: I am worthy. I am enough. I will no longer sacrifice my happiness for the comfort of others. This is your life, your energy, your time. Protect it fiercely. Live boldly. And watch as the world responds, not with resistance, but with respect. The moment you stop being the nice person who is quietly giving everything away, you step into the role of the powerful, authentic, and unstoppable force you were always meant to be. When you finally embrace the power of setting boundaries, you unlock something even more profound: the ability to say no without guilt. Saying no isn't just a refusal, it's a declaration of self-respect. It is one of the most courageous acts you can perform because it means choosing yourself over the demands and expectations that don't serve you. For too long, you may have equated saying no with selfishness, fearing that a single refusal could fracture relationships or paint you as difficult. But nothing could be further from the truth. Saying no is a vital skill that safeguards your time, energy, and mental health. It's the difference between living a life driven by others' agendas and living one directed by your own purpose. Each time you say no, you build a fortress around your peace of mind, protecting it from the chaos of endless demands and distractions. The power to say no gives you clarity. It allows you to prioritize what truly matters, what ignites your soul, and what moves you closer to your goals. Psychology shows that people who are comfortable saying no experience less stress and more satisfaction in life. This is because they are not overcommitting themselves or living in a constant state of depletion. Instead, they are choosing their battles wisely. Saying no is a way of reclaiming control, of refusing to be a passive player in your own life story. It's a refusal to be consumed by obligations that don't align with your values. But here's the catch. The fear behind saying no is real, and it's rooted in deep human needs: fear of rejection, fear of loneliness, fear of disappointing others. These fears can paralyze you, making you say yes when your heart screams no. You worry that if you refuse, you will lose friends, love, or respect. This is the tightrope that many nice people walk every day, balancing their own needs against the invisible pressure to keep others happy. The key is to understand that these fears, though powerful, are illusions waiting to be shattered. True connection does not demand your constant yes. In fact, authentic relationships thrive when both people honor their boundaries. Those who truly care for you will respect your no because it means you are honoring yourself. And honoring yourself is the foundation for any healthy, lasting connection. When you say no confidently, you inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect of respect and authenticity. You show that it is possible to be kind and firm at the same time. Saying no doesn't push people away. It attracts the right people. Those who value honesty over empty compliance, who appreciate your true self rather than a version molded to fit their expectations. It takes practice and courage to say no without apologies or explanations. You don't owe anyone a long justification for protecting your time and energy. A simple, firm no is enough. The moment you start doing this, you shift the balance of power in your life. You stop being a doormat and start being a leader of your own destiny. This shift doesn't just improve your external world, it transforms your inner landscape. When you say no, you silence the internal critic that tells you you must always be nice to be loved. You rewrite the script that says your worth is measured by how much you give away. Instead, you teach yourself that your value is inherent and unshakable. No matter how many times you say no, the freedom that comes with saying no also fuels your confidence. Each no becomes a building block in the foundation of your self-esteem. It tells your brain that you matter. It tells your soul that your happiness is non-negotiable. And it tells the world that you are no longer willing to settle for less than you deserve. Imagine living a life where your no is respected without question, where you don't feel drained from constant yeses that don't serve you, where you wake up every day feeling empowered, focused, and in control. This isn't a fantasy, it's a reality waiting for you to claim it. You were never meant to live as a constant yes man or yes woman. You were born to live boldly, to express your truth, and to honor your boundaries fiercely. Saying no is not just a word, it is a revolution in how you treat yourself and how the world treats you. So the next time you feel the urge to say yes out of obligation or fear, pause and remember, your no is your power. Use it wisely. Protect your peace. Choose yourself. Because when you master the art of saying no, you stop being the nice person who fades into the background. You become the powerful, authentic force who shapes their own life on their own terms. When you fully embrace the power of your no, a remarkable transformation takes place within you. The walls you once built around your true self begin to crumble. You stop hiding behind a mask of niceness that kept you safe but invisible. Instead, you step into a new identity, one rooted in authenticity, strength, and unshakable self-worth. This shift isn't just about changing how you interact with the world, it's about reclaiming who you are at the deepest level. The truth is, living as the nice person often means living beneath your potential. It means playing small because it feels safer to avoid conflict or disapproval, but safety without growth is stagnation. It's a slow erosion of your spirit. The longer you live trying to please others at the expense of your own desires, the further you drift from your true purpose. And deep down, that distance creates a silent ache, a feeling that something essential is missing from your life. You were never meant to settle for this quiet desperation. You were meant to shine. You were meant to create, to lead, to inspire. But none of that can happen if you keep dimming your light to make others comfortable. When you stop being the nice person who sacrifices their dreams for approval, you open the door to limitless possibilities. This is why breaking free from the nice trap is a radical act of self-love. It means daring to live your truth even when it's uncomfortable. It means accepting that some people won't like the real you and learning that their approval is not your lifeline. Your worth is not dependent on fitting into others' expectations. It is inherent, unchanging, and powerful. Every time you stand firm in your truth, you build resilience. You teach yourself that you can handle rejection, criticism, and disappointment without losing your sense of self. This resilience becomes a shield, protecting you from the corrosive effects of people-pleasing and self-doubt. It allows you to face life's challenges with confidence and grace because you know who you are and what you stand for. Imagine the freedom that comes with resilience, the freedom to pursue your goals without fear of judgment, the freedom to speak your mind without anxiety, the freedom to live boldly without apology. This freedom is the reward waiting on the other side of shedding the nice label. You might fear that losing your nice image will cost you relationships or opportunities, but the reality is the opposite. When you stop hiding your true self, you attract people who appreciate you for who you really are. You build connections based on respect and authenticity rather than superficial approval. These connections are deeper, more meaningful, and far more fulfilling. It's important to understand that being authentic doesn't mean being harsh or unkind. It means being honest and clear. It means communicating your needs and feelings with respect. It means choosing kindness that comes from a place of strength, not obligation. This kind of kindness is magnetic because it's real. It invites others to be real too. The shift from nice to authentic is not a destination. It's a continuous journey. Some days will be easier than others. You'll face moments of doubt, guilt, and old habits trying to pull you back. But with every step forward, you grow stronger. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you claim a piece of your freedom. This transformation has a ripple effect. When you live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon for those who are tired of pretending, tired of bending, tired of sacrificing their true selves. Your courage lights the way, showing that it's possible to live a life of integrity and power. You are not alone in this. Millions struggle under the weight of being nice at the cost of their own happiness. But those who break free discover a truth that changes everything. Your true power lies not in pleasing others, but in honoring yourself. When you do that, you become unstoppable. So embrace this truth. Let go of the need to be nice in the old way. Step into your authenticity with courage and conviction. Own your voice, your choices, and your life. The world needs the real you, the unfiltered, unapologetic, powerful you. Because when you stop being the nice person who hides in the shadows, you become the force that moves mountains. As you step deeper into this journey of shedding the nice persona, you begin to realize that true strength lies in ownership. Ownership of your emotions, your choices, and your narrative. For too long, you may have allowed others to define who you are, what you can do, and how you should feel. But the power to shape your life belongs solely to you. No one else holds the pen. The moment you accept this, everything changes. You move from being a passenger in your own story to the driver of your destiny. Owning your emotions means no longer suppressing your discomfort to maintain a facade of niceness. It means acknowledging your anger, your disappointment, and your fears without shame. These emotions are not signs of weakness or failure. They are signals from your soul urging you to pay attention, to set boundaries, to demand respect. When you stop dismissing your feelings, you gain clarity about what is truly important to you. This clarity becomes your compass, guiding every decision, every interaction, every step forward. Psychologically, owning your emotions empowers your brain's executive function, the part responsible for self-regulation, decision-making, and goal pursuit. When you validate your feelings instead of burying them, you reduce internal conflict and stress. This creates mental space for creativity, focus, and resilience. You start to act from a place of power rather than reaction. This is the core of emotional intelligence, and it's what separates those who live authentically from those trapped in perpetual people-pleasing. Owning your choices means embracing responsibility for your life without blame or excuses. It means recognizing that every yes or no you utter shapes your path. It also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes and understanding that growth is a process. This ownership frees you from victimhood, the belief that life happens to you rather than through you. When you claim your role as creator of your reality, you unlock immense motivation to break old patterns and build new habits that align with your true self. But ownership is not always comfortable. It demands courage because it requires you to face uncomfortable truths about yourself and the dynamics that have kept you stuck in the nice role. It challenges you to ask hard questions. Why do I fear rejection? What am I avoiding by always saying yes? Who am I beneath the need to be liked? These questions may unsettle you, but they are necessary catalysts for transformation. As you wrestle with these truths, remember that owning your narrative also means rewriting it. The story you've told yourself about being the nice person, always accommodating, never causing waves, no longer serves you. You have the power to write a new story, one where you are bold, clear, and unapologetic. This story honors your worth and acknowledges your limits. It celebrates your victories and learns from your setbacks. And it reflects your deepest values, not the expectations of others. This act of rewriting is revolutionary. It reclaims your identity from the shackles of fear and obligation. It restores your confidence and allows you to move forward with intention. You become the hero of your story, not the background character. When you own your emotions and choices, you send a powerful message to the world. You are here on your own terms. This magnetic authenticity invites respect, connection, and opportunity. People are drawn to those who live with integrity and strength. You stop attracting energy vampires who feed off your compliance and instead draw in those who value reciprocity and honesty. Owning yourself also opens the door to deeper self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh when you're breaking free from old habits. You might feel guilty, impatient, or even ashamed at times. But true ownership includes kindness towards yourself. It means recognizing that growth is messy and non-linear. It means giving yourself grace while holding yourself accountable. This balance builds resilience and sustains your momentum. The deeper you go into ownership, the more you realize that being the nice person was never about kindness. It was about survival. It was a strategy to avoid conflict, rejection, and loneliness. But survival is not the same as thriving. Thriving requires owning your truth, embracing your power, and living with fierce authenticity. This ownership fuels a fire within you that cannot be extinguished. It drives you to pursue your dreams relentlessly, to speak your truth boldly, and to live fully. It empowers you to create boundaries that protect your peace, to say no without guilt, and to build relationships that honor your worth. You were never meant to live in the shadows of other people's expectations. You were born to own your light and shine it unapologetically. To do this, you must claim every part of yourself, the fears, the flaws, the strengths, and the dreams. Ownership is the key that unlocks this truth. So stand tall in your power. Own your emotions without shame. Own your choices without regret. Rewrite your story with courage and compassion. Because when you do, you stop being the nice person who fades away and become the unstoppable force who shapes their own destiny with clarity, strength, and heart. When you fully own yourself, there's a profound shift in how you experience your relationships. No longer do you settle for superficial connections built on pleasing and approval. Instead, you cultivate bonds that honor your boundaries and reflect your authentic self. This shift in your relationships is one of the most powerful rewards of breaking free from the nice person trap. You begin to see that not everyone deserves a place in your inner circle. For years, you might have tolerated people who took advantage of your kindness, who drained your energy without giving anything back, or who made you feel small. But when you embrace your true power, you learn to discern who truly deserves your time, your care, and your trust. You become a gatekeeper of your energy, fiercely protective of the sacred space where your soul rests and grows. This is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about being wise. It's about recognizing that your energy is finite and investing it in people who lift you up rather than weigh you down. Relationships rooted in respect, honesty, and mutual support become your new standard. These connections fuel your growth, inspire your courage, and celebrate your authenticity. The courage to demand respect in your relationships is revolutionary because it breaks a cycle of codependency and people-pleasing that traps so many nice people. When you stop shrinking to fit others' needs, you create room for genuine connection. You invite others to meet you where you truly are, not where they want you to be. This recalibration requires you to speak your truth clearly and firmly. You must say no to the things that harm you, and yes to the things that nourish you. It may mean ending toxic friendships, stepping away from draining family dynamics, or redefining what love and support look like. Each of these choices is a testament to your self-worth and your commitment to living authentically. Psychologically, this shift reprograms your brain's attachment system. You move from anxious seeking of approval to secure, healthy relationships. This transition reduces anxiety and increases your sense of belonging because you are no longer chasing a false image or trying to fix others to feel accepted. Instead, you feel accepted for exactly who you are. This acceptance is liberating. It releases you from the exhausting cycle of trying to be what everyone else wants. It frees you to explore your passions, to pursue your goals, and to embrace your imperfections without fear. You realize that true connection comes from honesty, not pretense. As you strengthen your boundaries, you also model healthy behavior for those around you. Your courage to be authentic challenges others to reflect on their own relationships and self-worth. This ripple effect creates a culture of respect and integrity, where people feel safe to be themselves and to honor their own limits. You become a beacon of authenticity in a world that often rewards conformity. This role is powerful because it gives your life deeper meaning and purpose. You are no longer living just to keep others comfortable. You are living to be fully, unapologetically you. The freedom that comes with authentic relationships is transformative. It fills the void left by superficial approval and replaces it with genuine connection. It brings joy, peace, and a profound sense of belonging. And it reinforces the truth that you are worthy of love and respect just as you are. This transformation in your relationships also accelerates your personal growth. When you surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries and encourage your authenticity, you are inspired to become your best self. You learn to trust your intuition, to take risks, and to embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. Your relationships become a mirror reflecting your growth and your potential. They celebrate your victories and support you through challenges. They hold space for your dreams and encourage your courage. This kind of support is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone committed to living an authentic, powerful life. Remember, breaking free from the nice person role is not just about changing how you say no or set boundaries. It's about revolutionizing every aspect of your life, including the relationships that shape your world. When you demand respect, honor your truth, and cultivate authentic connections, you create a life that feels rich, meaningful, and deeply satisfying. You deserve relationships that honor your worth and amplify your light. You deserve to be surrounded by people who celebrate the real you, not a watered-down version shaped by fear and obligation. You deserve connection that nourishes your soul and fuels your growth, so stand firm in your power. Let go of relationships that drain you. Build connections that uplift you. Because when you do, you stop being the nice person who fades into the background and become the radiant force who inspires, leads, and transforms every space you enter. Once you begin to demand respect and authenticity in your relationships, something extraordinary happens inside you. A quiet but unshakable confidence begins to grow. This confidence is different from arrogance or false bravado. It is a deep-rooted knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. It comes from honoring your own worth and standing firm in your truth, no matter what others think or say. Confidence built on authenticity is unstoppable, because it's not dependent on external validation. It doesn't waver with the opinions of others or falter under pressure. Instead, it is forged in the fires of self-acceptance and courage. This kind of confidence empowers you to take bold steps toward your dreams, to speak your mind without fear, and to live a life that reflects your deepest values. This confidence rewires your mindset in profound ways. You start to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. You learn to embrace failure as a necessary part of growth, not a sign of inadequacy. Fear no longer holds you captive. It becomes a signal to push harder, to go deeper, to prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagined. When you shed the nice person mask, you release yourself from the paralysis of people-pleasing. The constant worry about pleasing everyone fades away, replaced by a powerful focus on what truly matters to you. This clarity sharpens your decision-making and fuels your motivation. You no longer waste energy on things that don't align with your purpose or values. Psychologically, this shift activates your brain's reward system in healthier ways. When your actions are aligned with your authentic self, your brain releases dopamine, the chemical that motivates and energizes you. This natural high reinforces your commitment to living truthfully and courageously, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. This inner confidence also changes how you show up in the world. You carry yourself with a new posture, upright, open, and fearless. Your voice gains strength and clarity. Your presence commands respect without demanding it. People sense this energy and respond accordingly. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open. Opportunities appear where before there were obstacles. Confidence rooted in authenticity is magnetic. It draws people toward you, people who respect your boundaries, value your opinions, and support your growth. You become a leader in your own life, inspiring others not by trying to please them, but by being unapologetically yourself. This transformation affects every area of your life, from your career to your friendships, from your family dynamics to your self-image. You start to take risks you once avoided, speak up for yourself more often, and pursue goals that truly excite you. This momentum creates a cycle of success and fulfillment that reinforces your confidence daily. Yet this confidence is not about perfection. It's about embracing your imperfections and vulnerabilities as part of your unique power. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love and respect even on your hardest days. This self-compassion strengthens your resilience, enabling you to face setbacks with grace and determination. Remember, confidence is not something you find outside of yourself. It's something you build inside by choosing authenticity over approval, courage over comfort, and truth over fear. Each time you reject the need to be the nice person who hides your true self, you add another brick to the foundation of your unshakable confidence. This foundation becomes the bedrock of your freedom, the freedom to live life on your own terms, to pursue your passions without hesitation, and to create the future you deserve. When you stand tall in this confidence, you embody the power to transform not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. So nurture this confidence. Feed it with self-love, honesty, and bold action. Protect it by setting clear boundaries and surrounding yourself with those who honor your growth. Let it be the driving force that propels you beyond the limits of your past and into the limitless possibilities of your future. Because when you do, you stop being the nice person who doubts and defers. You become the confident creator of your destiny, the unstoppable force who lives boldly, loves deeply, and shines brightly in a world that desperately needs your light. This confidence you cultivate is not a destination, it is a daily practice, a commitment to yourself that demands vigilance and courage. Every moment you choose authenticity over approval, you strengthen the foundation beneath your feet. Every time you say no without guilt, you reclaim a piece of your power. This constant reinforcement creates momentum, transforming small victories into lasting change. But with this growth comes a new challenge. The world will resist. The very people who depended on your nice compliance may push back. They might question your decisions, criticize your boundaries, or try to pull you back into old patterns. This resistance is a test, a mirror reflecting the magnitude of your transformation. It reveals just how much you have begun to own yourself and how much the status quo fears losing control. This pushback can stir doubt and insecurity. You might feel the old urge to please creeping back, to smooth over conflict, to shrink yourself for the comfort of others. But this is precisely the moment that demands your strongest stand. This is where your commitment to owning your life becomes non-negotiable. You must learn to stand firm even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels lonely. Because growth is rarely comfortable. True transformation requires discomfort, the kind that shakes you to your core and challenges everything you thought you knew. But it is within this discomfort that you find your greatest strength. When you resist the urge to retreat into niceness, you break free from the chains that once held you captive. Psychologically, this struggle rewires your brain's response to stress and conflict. Instead of reacting with anxiety or avoidance, you train yourself to respond with calm clarity and assertive action. This rewiring builds resilience, the ability to face adversity head-on without losing your center. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build every day by choosing courage over comfort. The more you practice this resilience, the more fearless you become. Fear no longer controls your decisions or silences your voice. You begin to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to prove your strength and deepen your authenticity. This fearless mindset propels you toward your goals with unstoppable energy. At the same time, this resilience fosters deep self-trust. You learn to rely on your own judgment, intuition, and values rather than seeking constant approval. This trust is liberating because it frees you from the exhausting cycle of second-guessing and self-doubt. You become your own strongest ally, your fiercest protector, and your most honest critic. Self-trust also encourages boldness. When you believe in your ability to navigate challenges, you take risks that others shy away from. You pursue opportunities that align with your vision, even if they scare you. You speak your truth in situations where silence once felt safer. This boldness attracts success, respect, and fulfillment. But none of this means you become rigid or unyielding. True strength lies in balance, the balance between standing firm and remaining open. You remain compassionate toward yourself and others, recognizing that everyone is on their own journey. You listen without losing your voice. You negotiate without surrendering your values. This balance creates harmony within and around you. It's important to remember that breaking free from being the nice person does not mean abandoning kindness or empathy. It means practicing these qualities from a place of strength, not obligation. You give because you choose to, not because you feel pressured to. Your generosity becomes a reflection of your power, not a sacrifice of it. This clarity transforms how you engage with the world. You become selective with your energy, investing it where it matters most. You stop wasting time and effort on relationships, tasks, and expectations that drain you. Instead, you channel your focus toward your growth, your goals, and your well-being. The ripple effect of this shift is profound. Your increased confidence and resilience inspire those around you to do the same. You model what it looks like to live authentically and courageously. You create a space where others feel safe to step into their own power. This is the true reward of shedding the nice person mask, not just personal freedom, but the power to transform your environment. When you stand tall in your truth, you invite others to rise with you. Together, you build communities grounded in respect, honesty, and mutual empowerment. So embrace the resistance, welcome the discomfort. These are the crucibles where your strength is forged. Each challenge you face with courage adds another layer to the armor protecting your authentic self. Each moment you resist retreating into old patterns deepens your commitment to the life you are creating. You are no longer the nice person who fades into the background to keep peace. You are a warrior of authenticity, resilience, and fierce self-respect. Your journey demands everything you have and rewards you with everything you deserve: freedom, power, and a life lived on your own bold terms. There comes a moment when the walls you've built to protect your nice persona begin to crumble, revealing a raw, untamed truth underneath, a truth that demands to be seen and honored. This truth is the essence of who you really are, beyond the scripts and roles imposed by others. It is the core of your identity, fierce and unfiltered, waiting for you to step into your power without apology or hesitation. To embrace this truth is to break free from a lifetime of self-imposed limits. It is to reject the idea that your value depends on how well you serve others or how much you conform to their expectations. This liberation is not a selfish act, it is the most profound act of self-love and respect. It sets you on a path where your worth is inherent, not conditional. As this truth emerges, you start to recognize the toxic narratives that have kept you trapped. The belief that being nice means always sacrificing your own needs, that saying no is rude or selfish, or that your voice is less important than others. These are lies you no longer have to live by. Releasing these beliefs is like lifting a heavy fog that obscured your vision. Suddenly, you see yourself clearly, and with clarity comes power. This power is deeply transformative because it rewires how you relate to yourself and the world. When you stop seeking approval as a lifeline, you free yourself from anxiety and the exhausting cycle of second-guessing. Your actions become deliberate and aligned with your true desires, not driven by fear of rejection or the need to please. Psychologically, this shift activates your intrinsic motivation, the drive that comes from within, fueled by passion, purpose, and authenticity. Unlike external motivation, which can be fleeting and unreliable, intrinsic motivation sustains you through obstacles and setbacks because it's rooted in your deepest values and aspirations. This internal drive changes the game completely. You begin to set goals that excite and challenge you rather than conforming to what others expect or deem acceptable. Your ambition becomes a source of joy, not pressure. Every step forward is a celebration of your growing strength and authenticity. With this newfound power, you reclaim your time and energy. No longer drained by the endless demands of being nice, you invest in yourself with intention. You cultivate habits that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. You surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. This intentional living amplifies your confidence and accelerates your growth. The freedom to prioritize yourself also enhances your emotional well-being. You stop numbing discomfort with people-pleasing or avoidance. Instead, you face your feelings honestly and courageously. You learn that vulnerability is not weakness, but a gateway to deeper connection and self-understanding. This emotional courage allows you to set boundaries that protect your peace without guilt. You become clear about what you will accept and what you will not. This clarity radiates strength and earns respect. People sense that you are grounded and authentic, and they respond with honesty and integrity. Living from this place of truth and power transforms your influence in the world. You inspire others by example, not by trying to convince them, but simply by being real. Your courage encourages others to question their own limiting beliefs and to step into their own authenticity. This ripple effect creates a community of empowered individuals who reject the false promises of niceness as a form of control. Together, you foster environments where honesty, respect, and self-love thrive. This is the kind of world you help build by first transforming yourself. Yet, this path requires vigilance. The temptation to revert to old patterns never fully disappears. It lurks in moments of doubt, fear, or fatigue, but each time you choose authenticity over comfort, you reinforce your new identity. Each choice builds resilience and cements your freedom. The reward for this relentless commitment is profound. You live a life defined not by the approval of others, but by your own values and passions. You wake up each day energized by the knowledge that you are honoring your true self. You move through the world with a presence that commands respect and inspires change. No longer the nice person who fades into the background, you become the architect of your destiny. Your voice matters, your needs matter, your dreams matter. This realization is not just empowering, it is life-changing. So embrace this truth. Let it burn away the false narratives and illuminate your path forward. Stand tall in your authenticity, knowing that the life you desire is waiting on the other side of fear and conformity. You have the power to claim it starting right now. The moment you embrace your truth and shed the weight of being nice at the expense of yourself, you begin to reclaim a fundamental right, ownership of your own life. This is not just about saying no or setting boundaries. It's about stepping fully into the driver's seat of your existence, steering with clarity, purpose, and unshakable resolve. Ownership means no longer outsourcing your happiness, your decisions, or your self-worth to anyone else. It means recognizing that you, and only you, hold the key to the life you want. Taking ownership is a radical act. It demands courage because it forces you to confront uncomfortable realities, the parts of your life where you have been passive, compliant, or self-sacrificing. It means acknowledging how much energy you've given away to please others, how many opportunities you've missed because of fear, and how often you've silenced your own voice. But this honesty is the fuel for transformation. It is in facing these truths head-on that you break free from old patterns and claim your power. When you own your life, you stop being a passenger and become the creator. You no longer blame circumstances, other people, or your past for where you are. Instead, you accept full responsibility for your choices and their consequences. This shift from victimhood to empowerment is seismic because it puts control back in your hands. It ignites a deep sense of agency that propels you to act decisively and relentlessly. This agency is a game changer psychologically. Studies show that people who take ownership of their lives experience higher motivation, better mental health, and greater resilience. This happens because ownership activates your brain's reward centers, reinforcing positive behaviors and creating a loop of self-empowerment. Every time you choose yourself over pleasing others, your brain celebrates the victory and pushes you to keep going. With ownership comes freedom. The freedom to define your own standards and live by them unapologetically. You no longer feel shackled to the invisible chains of others' expectations. Instead, you create your own rules, aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. This freedom is exhilarating because it opens a world of possibilities that were previously closed off by fear and conformity. Owning your life also demands unwavering commitment. It means showing up every day, even when it's hard, to make choices that honor your growth and authenticity. It means prioritizing your well-being and goals without guilt. It means standing firm when others question or resist your new way of being. This commitment is what separates those who transform from those who remain stuck in the cycle of niceness and self-sacrifice. This process transforms your relationship with failure and setbacks. When you own your life, mistakes are no longer sources of shame but valuable lessons. You learn to see failure as feedback, information that guides your next move rather than a verdict on your worth. This mindset frees you from the paralysis of perfectionism and fuels continuous growth. Furthermore, ownership sharpens your clarity. When you stop diffusing your energy trying to please everyone, your vision becomes crystal clear. You know what you want, why you want it, and what you're willing to do to get it. This clarity is magnetic. It aligns your actions with your goals and attracts opportunities, people, and resources that support your journey.